recording?
Yes, it is.
Sure, man, that's nothing on my screen.
It is recording.
It's recording.
Okay, it said just started.
I'm like my blood clot customer service job. Yes, me I make that stay.
Welcome back to another episode of Controversial Topics. Ladies and gentlemen, first and the technical arrangement in between. First of all, I want to apologize for sending out this episode late. This episode is late. I think it's my fault. Yeah, my fault.
It's not a fault.
It's the full
Secondly-
responsibility of the Controversial Topics team. We will not let one man take the blame. The
Which is
Controversial
true.
Topics team did not communicate properly with our fans, and we do apologize for that. Yeah, the man and the customer service. Hey!
Thank you,
One
Doctor.
to one.
Also, I was listening to the last episode. I want to apologize for something as well. Yeah, for what I said and how I said it when I was talking about the little entanglement I had with my ex-girlfriend's cousin and best friend. As in how I went about saying it, I sounded kind of like a douchebag. I just didn't like how I probably could have been more aloof or have a bit more tact. I sounded a bit like a douchebag. I want to apologize for what I said and how I said it. Anyway,
I guess the audience like honest people.
I just didn't like how I sounded. Like I sounded like a general. I wanted to punch myself in the face. That's how I sounded to me.
I can probably help you. Just give me the address and I'll find you and we can arrange that.
You're coming to my house, sir.
I don't think you live that far from where I am. Probably just around the
I live
corner.
in Portmore, sir.
I'm going to be in Portmore tomorrow. What a wonderful thing.
Unless you want to see your head leave your body with a cutlass at the end of it, I suggest you stay at GC Foster here.
I have two
Who's that
cutlass
man,
and three machete.
And it is not likely that Dario will be the one committing this act. So be forewarned.
Anyway. All right, so we're gonna talk a bit about dating.
And success
I'll start off
IP
with a story.
address is not located at the moment. Currently trying to find this information.
Anyway, we're gonna start off with a story. See?
It's unavailable
So-
at this time.
A young man asked out a young lady, on a date. But she insisted on which restaurant they should attend. So he's like, okay, cool. The money wasn't an issue, so they went to the restaurant. He doesn't know the restaurant. So they went there. When he got there, it was a vegan restaurant. Excuse me. So now this is how he finds out that this young lady is vegan. And she's trying to introduce him to the vegan food. I mean, he eats vegetables or whatever. He's an athlete, but never really went into like vegan. Anyway, appetizers came. Okay. At the main course, he did not like it. And the conversation was okay-ish. She was almost arrogant, speaking almost condescending to him, especially when talking about her vegan lifestyle, because he was telling her straight up like he would not want to become a full-fledged vegan. It's not something he sees himself doing. And like she just seemed to get more and more condescending, more and more arrogant, more and more annoyed. And so when the main course came, he ordered something that he saw Gordon Ramsay make, a vegan dish Gordon Ramsay made. Eggplant steaks. But apparently it just didn't taste good. It wasn't to his liking. So anyway, the young lady got a bit more condescending to him. So he's asking, why are you behaving this way now? You weren't like this before we were talking and before I asked you out. And she was referring to like the other guys that she's dated and who she had bring her to this restaurant, etc. And how they liked the food and how they were more accommodating to her or whatever. So he says, and I'm gonna use some expletives, but just stick with me. And I apologize in advance. So what the young man said to her was this. Okay, so I now understand what's going on. You think I just want to fuck you. I actually like you. See, previous men that you've dated, they were pandering to you. They lied and they were fake. And they said the things that you wanted to hear just so they could get inside your drawers. That is not my intention. I actually like you. I actually want to be with you. If I am lying, no. If I am fake, no. If I pander to you, no. I have to do that throughout the entire relationship. But because I'm not lying like all the other men, I'm not trying to fuck you like all the other men, and I'm being honest, you are so used to being lied to. You are so used to this pandering and this fakeness that it comes off to you as an insult. Because I'm pretty sure the men that you've brought to this restaurant before, or you made bring you to this restaurant before, are not at home right now eating a veggie burger, some kind of guacamole salad or whatever. I'm 100% sure of that. That is why you're so beautiful, yet still single. You are just as sad as all the men that you've dated before me. And he called the waiter, paid the check, left some money for her to order desserts, and left her there. So, yeah, it made me think. A lot of times in relationships, in the beginning, especially the first couple of weeks, because we're trying to impress this person and we're trying to, for lack of a better term, catch this person. A lot of us do tend to pander. We do tend not necessarily just to put our best foot forward, but maybe even go the extra mile and lie or be fake. And I'm not talking about when you're just trying to fuck, like when you actually want to be in a relationship. But like, and again, as the guy said, when you tell the truth or if you try to be honest, you get rejected, or people are going to reject you simply because you're not stroking their ego. Do you think, or in your opinion, should we just be blunt from day one, or not pander?
Yes, and
I believe that making your intentions known and your plans should be known, because remember, the female species relies on or goes off of emotions and what they're feeling in the moment, or what they want, or what they think they want.
hypothetically
So,
speaking.
yeah. So saying what you have to say and letting your intentions be known from the get-go is the best way to find out what is it they're looking for, what is it they want, and do you fit what they want. And if not, then you leave.
I'm on a 50-50 scale with this. The reason why I say yes and no is because, well, let's just say being blunt can come across as you being sort of non-empathetic in a way. I'm not saying you don't have to be blunt, but say for instance you are meeting this young lady, you wanted to talk to her for a while. First date, you state out, say, yo, you know, like this, blah, 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 blah. And you state it in a way that makes it sound as if, say, yo, if I am not in control of this, yo, fuck you, fuck your feelings and everything. A major turn off that. For both men and women, as far as I can tell. I think the problem comes in for most females when they try to generalize the one single good dude that actually wants to speak to them more than just to fuck them. because they've gone through the cycle of fuckboys before them because they willingly just wanted someone to talk to. Instead, man, them just did it. Pretend as if they want to talk, but really and truly, I just fuck them a fuck. A lot of females fall into that trap. A lot of men fall into that trap as well. I have seen men suffer the consequences. Things say, oh, some women are just there to put with a shoulder to lie, and when in reality, say, just say, dick you want. Trust me, viewers, females do this. But as I said, it's a 50-50 from me because while I do think people should be truthful in what they want, at the same time.
Sorry, hold on. Somebody's echoing.
We have been echoing since the start. I don't know what happened.
It's got louder. Oh, all right. Rocha, you gonna weigh in?
Hmm?
You gonna weigh in?
No, I'm just listening. No.
That's a first. What? Okay. Yeah, 50-50 for me. Yes and no, in a sense.
No, it's pretty honest, but like, and again, sometimes. Alright, so how would you think we could look at it when somebody has been pandered to or is just so used to the fake shit that honesty is now an offense? Or I guess I mean I don't want to say my route because I'm just dark. I'll just be like, okay, bye. I've done it before.
I
I've been
mean,
talking to a girl and I realized, okay, like I have to lie to her. Like that's too much. That's too much work to lie. I have to remember. And my issue with lying is I'm actually a very good liar, and that's my issue with it. When I do
You don't
lie,
want to
I
give up
believe
too
my
much.
own lies.
Wow.
So I try not to lie.
You're a compulsive liar.
No, I'm not a compulsive liar.
you would make a good Mortal Kombat character.
Habitual liar.
Just saying.
He's an
I'm not a compulsive liar because I don't just tell lies just to. Like if it's necessary, yeah. But I'm not just going to walk around and just like be lying like just because I just want to hear your feelings.
Habitual liar.
Who?
He's an
What is it?
habitual liar.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
He's an habitual liar.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Well, yeah.
A bitch.
Sorry, I forgot my point. So yeah, someone who's just used to pondering. So like I was saying, so my thing would just be to say goodbye from right then and there. But I'm kind of dark. I'm kind of crashed that way, and my I am learning now through life experiences that way is probably not always the best way, and we can actually communicate at times and compromise or whatever. But like,
And is dangerous. It's dangerous because it damages simple communication.
mhm.
And when the simple communication can go through, the more advanced communication will be fuzzy. Pandering doesn't help. Pandering, I'm sure how far pandering has been coming. Have you ever been to a sports day or a tournament and you're like, there's only three places, right? First, second,
First,
third, right?
second, third.
Okay. The thing called participation medals,
Yeah,
pandering.
that the US has now. Yeah,
It is given to kids at grade 1 and some in a primary, basic, kindergarten.
this is school level. Yeah,
So,
I think it started. I think I was at UE when it started, probably about 2011. It was a time when a new coach had come to this team that wasn't so good. I think it was like a grade school, and they gave another team 100 and something nil. And the team and the parents from the kids who got nil started to complain mid-match and sued, and I think they won.
why?
Because they didn't want their kids to get 100 and something nil. It was, I think, the second quarter, if I remember correctly, the third quarter. It was little under 110 mil. So like 106, 109
All right.
nil at the time.
That
And
not
they
really
actually,
make
one
much of
like
a difference.
one of the moms actually came onto the field and was cussing the coach, cussing the opposing coach, the referee, and they were complaining like,
All right.
this
So,
is evil.
hold on now. So when I was coaching, when I was in the teaching, the principal said, Mr. Doctor, you have full reign of the under 12 and the under 10 team. And I said, okay, junior teacher get full reign. All right, cool. My under 10 team only won one match out of 6. The frustrating thing for me, we outplayed every team, but we just couldn't score. But at the same time, my inner self become my own sportsman. In my head, I say, yo, why? Me hear parents are cuss off you, them I say, yo, them do this and that and blah blah blah. I just say, defeat teaches us to be better. If a team won everything, what is the point of that team being staying together? That's why I say, yo, I never want to be a part of a long winning team because we get complacent. Someone think that's over. I'm better than everything and I can never lose. Sharks. But that's just what I see. I see it in rugby, see it in track and field, see it in football. Every sport, when you continually win, you feel I say, oh, I'm above it all. And that one defeat you get, oh yes.
Brings you back down to earth, man.
I don't have motivation to do it anymore. I got beaten. For me.
Honestly,
Rolls over and cries.
I don't believe pandering helps in any way. It doesn't, because depend on which level of life you administer pandering, it has negative ramifications. It really does. Society may downplay it like it don't. He's just trying to be. No, no, it's not that simple. Because it affects the psychology of the person who is being pandered to. It gets dangerous from that point forward. People might look at it and say, oh, he's just being nice. And like I said, some people don't know different between someone pretending to be nice and someone who's genuinely nice. Some people overread the situation and it becomes very, very antsy. Pandering doesn't help. It hurts. It hurts. It hurts people around you because they will have, like you said, they will have to keep up the facade that this is actually how it is. It really is. That's why I want everybody when it comes to relationship for 6 months. To me, that's the pandering stage of the relationship, or as they call it, the honeymoon phase. Because they're pandering.
That was actually my next point. Is the point when the honeymoon phase ends? Is it the point where you start being honest and stop pandering to your mates? Like after you caught them now that you're in the relationship, and you know that they will be here to stay for a time being or until something drastic happens. Is that really the end of the honeymoon phase? And if we don't pander from day one, will there never be a honeymoon phase and you're just in a stronger relationship?
Well, the honeymoon phase, first off, if you acknowledge where the honeymoon phase came from, honeymoon phase come from in your head. It's not a love story, it's not a fairy tale.
Right.
We create the honeymoon phase in our head. It's called young love, new love. We fantasize. And this is where the whole Disneyfication thing comes from. It comes from fantasy. It's not rooted in reality. I tell a girl, let's say, in your mind, you're supposed to think of everything this brother would have done to you when you finally become your man, your boyfriend, your husband, right? And then reality set in, you realize that this man is very lazy. What then there? I must say, and this goes vice versa for men. You have the man them who believes, oh, she'll go stay this and that forever and that. Yeah, you understand? And then when reality sets in, and I'm realizing this girl doesn't do half the things and she showed at first. But then again, pandering is dangerous because it makes people step into relationships thinking what they see on the cover is what's actually on the CD. And it's not that most of the time.
Which is true. That's true because
And that's sad.
looking back,
Mm-hmm.
looking back at it, I think I remember having a conversation with my parents about this, and they're saying that after finding somebody, after let's say the honeymoon stage lasts for about 3 months. After 3 months of non-stop into each other, always just sex, only having like brief conversations, doing the small stuff. What comes after? What comes after? What is it that this person actually has to offer? That is where it comes in. They say,
I have the answer to that question.
It's kind of weird because it depends. And I know this should be a simple, straightforward answer, but it depends.
It can't be a simple, straightforward answer.
Tell you why it's not going to be straightforward, brother. I'll tell you why it's not going to be straightforward. It's not going to be straightforward because people like what they think they see on the cover, as you said.
Yeah.
But at the I said this at work. Now that I think about it, I was speaking to two of my supervisors who were females, and they literally were sitting down just like me, listening to me speak. And they, at the end of what I said, they asked, "How old are you again?" And I'm like, "Bro,
Yeah.
Old enough.
But to reiterate, 3 months pass, and all you're fucking doing is having sex, brief conversation about where you go eat, want to go do. All right, say eventually you get married. There's a train wreck that's going to happen. It's going to block up the whole road. Those two persons need to decide: are we going to go around the block, or are we going to stay here forever? Most people decide to, let's stay at the block for at least a month. A month become a year become 2 years. 2 years become a divorce. Divorce becomes pain, and pain leads to death.
For who?
For who? Yes.
For whoever gets kicked out of the house first, or whoever.
It doesn't even have to be physical death. It can just be like
Exactly.
emotional death. You can be like
mental death.
emotionally stunted. Can cause it, but just to have like to become a crappier person, have crappier relationships in the future. Doesn't have to be a physical death.
True, but I'm saying I got the gist of what he was saying. I was wondering which person is going to undergo all of that, the man or the woman.
One who contributed more.
Well, no, it's not even the person who contributes more.
But mostly the woman.
Most times.
Not all times.
Well, I know the person who contributes more to a relationship, most times, what I know, from what I've seen, ends up being the one who is the most bitter. Eventually, they go down in life and they say, "Yo, why this never worked out? Or why couldn't this have been me? Or this that?" Asking themselves why this was not given to me. It's always I hear why this was not given to me, and I in my head I'm wondering, given, shouldn't you earn it?
But then, when you look at these situations, you know, we kind of if we look into it, most of these types of relationships are what's happening, like in what I'm calling it, millennials.
Yeah.
Younger relationships. Not to say that it doesn't happen with older relationships, right? But with older relationships, you tend to find out that these people, they actually talk. Remember, these people are what we call relics. I tell my father every day, brother, you are a national relic. You are old. I saw him with a computer and I asked him how. I saw him with a desktop the other day in his office and I asked him, since you had this desktop, how often have you used it? Like when you look at it, you can see that it's not used, it's still clean. But still, that aside, you can see that these people don't use technology as much as younger folks now. So this is what we say now. people need to talk. Take away a couple. Let's get a couple. Let's say we run a simulation and we get some couples, right?
Yeah.
And we take away the cell phones, the laptops, the tablets. We take away internet. We take away social media, everything. And
Put them on
let's see how
lockdown
many-
without
Put them-
technology, basically.
put them on a lockdown. Do a survey of people who would voluntarily do this, and let's do this for about let's not say 1 week because some of them would die. Let's say we do this for 3 days. How many of them would actually have something to sit down and talk about for 3 days? How many of them would actually be interested in what their other partner has to say to them? Well, how many of them would actually listen and find solutions to this? That is why we say that we need to have a what they need to do. They feel out each other first, not physically. They pick at each other's brains. Pick at the brains. Find out what I like, what I dislike.
I've
Like
always
Romulans.
whenever I hear, all right, it's not that you say anything wrong, but you know the one issue I've always had whenever something like that is attempted to be done, people don't try to have empathy towards what a person goes through or what the person is trying to say, because like most humans, we are by what we believe and what we think is right.
Mm-hmm.
So, so for example, if a man say, yo, you know the reason why I don't really show my emotions is because, yo, I did not grow
Someone.
father figures or my mother had never really teach me certain things or something along those lines. And then the woman ends up saying, maybe you should have learned better, or maybe you should have found someone to teach you, or some ignorant bullshit like that. I'm not saying that she will say it like that, but it's something along the condescending lines of saying, you should have known better. Fuck you. And for the man, them, some man, when a woman pours out their heart to them, all them have to say is, oh, Zane, I understand still.
Okay. No, this is why we say that conversation is important. Yes, you'll be downhearted and say you're not going to try to open up again. But this is where we say conversation. We're feeling out each other.
Talk.
Yes,
All right,
yes.
all right. So,
Your mind is affected. But this is why we say, okay, you shared something.
all right. So my thing is this.
and they said something in your mind or in your feeling, you thought that it was very harsh. You address it and say, that was kind of harsh, and whatever, I don't like it. Let's try this again. Yeah, it is possible, even though it will be difficult for the first couple of times. That's why we say courting is important.
Yo,
Proper
people even know
courting.
that meaning
Proper
anymore.
courting.
Proper courting.
Yeah,
don't
all right.
even
So,
know
so,
what
all right.
courting
One thing I wanted to point out. The first thing you need to realize is, can your partner actually communicate?
True.
Like,
Find out that
like,
first.
okay, so not just speak, but can they actually listen? Not hear, but actually listen.
Listen.
Can
and
they
help
actually
with
take in the
solution.
information, like analyze it, and respond appropriately? A lot of people will just hear just to say something in return, but they're not really understanding what you're saying, and just replying whatever it is that they feel like saying, and that can cause a lot of confusion. That can cause a lot more problems.
Yes, that's why they say that you listen. Listening and hearing are two completely different things.
Totally different things.
People don't do it enough.
I can hear you, but I didn't listen to you. I can listen to you, but I never hear you. Well,
And you have a lot of misinterpretation, which can cause a little misinterpretation can cause huge problems.
Yep.
Well,
yeah.
believe it or not, I had to give a class in communication tonight, dropping this teenager home. She's on the phone with her guy who she's talking to, right? So she asked me a direct question and I gave a direct answer. And the guy's on the phone cracking up, laughing. And she says, yeah, he's right. He's like, oh my God, he says you're right. And I'm like, well, I've been a man most of my you know.
You still there, brother?
It's not muted.
Gotcha.
Probably gonna do something.
I think the phone fell.
Alright, phone a malfunction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You got cut off.
Yeah.
All right.
Pretty soon join back.
Yeah, so let's get back to it now. What was we're talking about again? Yeah, proper courting.
So basically, we're asking if we avoided pandering, do you think we might not, we could skip the first downfall of the relationship or the first major setback in the relationship, which is the end of the honeymoon phase? Oh, Brad Shah's back?
Yeah, he just muted.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you want to finish your story?
Oh yeah, so let me, so I'm explaining to her say communication has been all out of whack because, for example, um, when you're in an argument, communication goes a long way, right? So I'm explaining to her the first thing you can do as a woman is when a man is upset, you go and try to meet him up there in frustration. So I'm like, that doesn't work. To, this is another thing. I was like, yo, you don't know how to talk to your men. That is the reason why most of you don't even get the results you want. Like for instance, whoever told you that you need to behave aggressive like a man said that doesn't work for you. Men don't acknowledge that and like that. They don't. It does the opposite. So if you're even trying to get your point across, you defeated the purpose. So then I dumb down and explain to you, see, this is why femininity is needed. She shucks and go, oh my God, you and this femininity thing. I'm like, well, that used to be women's superpower. A feminine woman could make a man do almost anything without having to ask him twice. He goes, really? I'm like, yeah. I said, wait a minute. So all those stories about, people going to wars and men literally cut off people's family, and do you think men did stuff like that for aggressive masculine women? No. Majority of the chicks were very feminine, and men were craving that. A feminine woman is popular that she can break up a man's home, she can break up a man's friendship. All this is based on communication. Being feminine when you communicate, knowing how to communicate, will position you in many places. And she was shocked. The guy was on the phone laughing and saying, so true, brother, so true. It was funny, but yeah, that has not changed and it will never change. Communication is one thing, but you have to know how to communicate. The tones that we use have impact. I don't know why people think that. Go and get that. Different from, go and fetch it for me. Same line, but different tones. Give you different reaction.
Roger, you remember that? You remember that sentence? You remember that one sentence? That one sentence where they say depending on where you put that comma or the semicolon, it has a different meaning. It says what was that sentence again?
It was a couple of them.
Woman, yeah, without woman, man is nothing. That's one. And there was another one that says they never said we should kill him, or I never said we should kill him. And the way how you stress a certain word, every word that you stress within that sentence has a different meaning. Or where you put a different comma, it has a different meaning. So when you're trying to when you're communicating and you're saying something, you're saying something to your partner or somebody that you admire. the way how you say, how you stress a word, the way how you punctuate that sentence, it has a totally different meaning than what you are actually trying to convey or saying to somebody or trying to say to them. Because to you it might sound like it's the best thing you said, but to them it's so hurtful and it's so heart wrenching. Something that Dario would do, right? But you have to know how.
Yard, yard,
You just
yard,
have to know how
yard,
to say it.
yard, yard,
You just have to know how to say it.
yard.
You know, I don't,
Even
you know, I
me,
don't,
as bad as I am, not even me, I go down that road. No,
Give a
can't.
second vote.
you know that every week I come on here,
I can't believe it.
I always get a card. I get a card
Nah, you
every week. You know that I'm gonna take.
Dario freeze. Judge.
All right. You see, this is a sign. I should not get that card.
I'm move for you, man. You hear what you say while I go about the man? Something Dario would do.
Something Dario would do. However, you see, there are pros and cons to this, you know. This is why
really?
it's good to know. Yes, that's what I say. It's good to know your friends and the people that you and you talk. But Dario had said this earlier. He had said this earlier. Yeah? That's what he said. He said he's blunt and point blank, and I said okay. So I made reference to an earlier statement.
Okay, sir. I hear you.
No, I don't understand. Every week I come, I always get a card.
Sir, me have the most red card out of anybody on this podcast. So I know what you're talking about.
Sorry about that, guys. I froze up. I don't know what happened.
You see, that was a sign.
No, the people who are listening to podcasts, I mean, in the higher ups, they try to stop the show, but you know.
So okay, so Barnaby was spared the red card because of the what was that? B froze me.
That and Bradshaw say, yo, nah, Bradshaw never second the vote.
That is why I have to rate Bradshaw.
But if I did me, would I hear about 3 vote? Nah, so nothing still.
As the issue of the card, I can't really vote like that.
Yo, Derek
Unless it's really heinous.
For the powers that be.
Unless it's really heinous, I can't just vote like that. But yeah, I think we kind of covered this enough. So the next point. This is something I've been thinking about, and I actually have a comedian say it. Again, I guess I can say at the dating stage. In the same way that men, and it kind of falls into pandering, but this is more has to do with our behavior. In the same way that men have pickup lines, in the same way that a man has to be charismatic, witty, funny, a smooth talker, just to approach a woman, just to get her phone number, just to ask her out on a date, just to sleep with her. How come women don't have, I guess we could say, stay put lines in the same way that men have pickup lines? Or if the man has to put out all this effort to get the woman, how comes the woman doesn't have to put out any effort to keep the man? Or is that, and think about it before you answer, or is that misogynistic of me to say that the woman should have to keep put out effort now to keep the man?
No, because he can't do his part, we have a problem. So why is the one side? I've never. All right. That's the dynamics of a functional relationship. Plenty of times. I use my parents for example. My father was a good provider. A good person, that's up for debate. But he was a great provider. His woman never had to ask him for money. The bills were always paid and always taken care of. My mother was a homemaker. So whatever he gave her, she made a home out of it. You understand me? So it's a two-sided coin. I don't know why people believe it's only the man. And then here's the thing, though. This is where it all boils back down. It's not a matter of if you can get something. Can you keep him? Because men are the catch. Can you keep
That's
him?
actually my follow-up point.
But what I'm saying, what I heard once was that this works too. This is how I heard somebody say that men and women work in a system. So men have a hunting system, and women have a filtering system, right? So men go up, approach, right? Women filter. So now women run this through a process. Is he tall? Is he short? Does he talk good? Does he look good? Does he smell good? All of these little things, and she goes through all that list and see if he meets that criteria. This is what she calls filtering. So she filters out what the pros and the cons, finds out if she likes you, she doesn't like you. Doesn't like you, she puts you away. Right?
Naturally.
Yeah. And the men now have this approach. They have the approach mechanism. So once they have an approach and they make a good approach, it's now up to the woman to decide whether or not she wants to filter him in the system or to put him out. So so if a woman decides that okay, she's gonna filter him in the system, right? Isn't it now her job and her responsibility to say, okay, let's
make the system comfortable enough for him to stay.
Okay, because remember, men work off of what they see first, then they look at everything else after. Right?
Right.
So when using the approach mechanism now, he goes up, say, hi, how are you? What's your name? Can I have a number? All these little things, give her that sweet talk, that whole sugar thing. And then now she falls for this, and she figures out that it says, okay, she wants this. But how does she keep it? It's a two-way street. So if she keeps filtering in all those bad things, all those bad approaches, what's going to happen to her? She's going to classify all men are dogs, all men are bad, all men are this.
That's nice.
When apparently her system is broken because the same thing happens to her.
I love the fact that all men are dogs, yet you still want a man. Tell me how the fuck that makes sense. All men are dogs, all men are eagles and everything, yet you still want a man. You fucking idiot. No, I really have to say it because every time I keep on hear the same bullshit. All men are dogs.
The dark night rises.
Why do you want to be married?
No.
No, honestly. No, on a big man level. Like, gentlemen,
So,
you have heard this.
That's why I'm laughing.
Because, like, a man can look past a woman's disgusting behavior and say she can be developed. If a man look like Timbuktu, looks like a monkey king, X out him. If a man looks pretty but he cannot provide, I'll give him a chance, but he will still be on the waiting list. And then when you agree on all, you go talk about how if only I knew, bitch, fuck you.
The dark night rises.
And you wonder why you have so many red cards.
No, I don't wonder.
Exactly.
I actually.
No, he doesn't wonder. He's
I don't wonder, Bradshaw. I wonder why everybody doesn't have them like me. That's different.
Let me win.
Doc, you remember that test?
Shut up.
Let me win. All right, so this is like my notes on it. Hold up. Sorry, I scrolled past my notes. Sorry, hold on. Give me a sec. So yeah, men forget that they are prizes too. we jump through hoops to get a woman and totally forget about ourselves. We should also come to the date with our own standards and have hoops for her to jump through. Not to be arrogant, but as in to actually determine if she's a viable mate.
Here's the thing.
But this is the thing.
Sorry, I didn't write this. Just came to me. And we should stick to our standards.
If
If it's a case where she has a nasty personality, and we'll make up our mind, say we made up our minds that we're not dealing with a certain personality type, a certain ratchet personality type, or whatever. We need to stick to it, regardless of how cute she looks. Some of us need to stop thinking with our little heads and think with our big heads. Some simple things like that.
No, this goes into a conversation I had recently. So me and this particular female, a co-worker, we're having this conversation. And she asked me why do I think that women, she was speaking towards Jamaican women, why I think Jamaican women don't understand men. So I responded and asked her, do you think Jamaican men have standards for women? She says she doesn't think so. I'm going to say, why would you not think so?
Depends on his intention.
If you can have the notion that all men, Jamaican men should have enough money to take care of your nonsensical standards of buying a fake weed, you look so much better with their natural here. Why should Jamaican men have the standard that say, hey, I want you to be cooking for me 5 days a week, 24 hours a day? Think about that for a second. So she paused and she said, I'm going to say, obviously. Women have this notion that they think that they're above it all. They're the superior being of everything in a relationship. When forgetting that a man also is a human. That's the most important thing. Them things that men just did it. That they're just a pet that they just up off the side of the road. Not forgetting that he has a heart and just a dick.
No, but sometimes I think that for some of these things, men are to be blamed. Men are to be blamed.
Yes.
Because as Dario said, 85% of us we think with our little heads before we use our big heads.
Even when we want a relationship as opposed to just sex, we still kind of trick. We delude ourselves. Probably thinking about vagina as opposed to like the longevity of the relationship.
Even if we weren't thinking about it in the first place. That's happened to every man. Any man say it never happened to him, he's a fucking liar.
I'm guilty. We are all guilty.
But the thing is, when we do delude ourselves, unlike some people, we actually can come out of our delusions. We don't go into it thinking, say, yo, it must happen. Maybe it will eventually work. No,
but
it won't.
But at the end of the day, when you think about it, I think Bradshaw had said this in some podcasts before. Men are creatures of prey. We think of what is in front of us, what is there, what's immediate, before we think about what comes after, or the after effects of what is going to happen after all of this.
We're awareness creatures. We study what we see before us, and we observe and we listen. While we don't do it purposely, it's just what we do.
Exactly. Because the first thing every man do, Dario, Bradshaw, I know so don't do this already. The first thing I say a pretty brown skin pass with a hefty body. The first thing I do, a picture naked in our head. We do this so often that it becomes second nature.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. That's the whole point of Isaac. We're supposed to have picture naked.
Yeah.
So hold on. So let me ask you a question. when you have picture say you have sex with this one, you have picture have sex with that through the clothes. Tell me no.
Shift her jeans to the side.
We're not That's all.
Gadras. You think Gadras?
But here's the thing. While we do picture that, we also tend to use these to listen to what he says out of her mouth. And if the minute the first words we hear come out of her mouth is some form of skittle behavior or some skittle argument, I will say,
Everything drop.
I say, oh, no. No. But woman, oh, but here's where I think women don't fall now. A woman will hear a man talk about how him bust shot and kill people for a living, and that somehow turns her on. What the fuck?
I sent a video like that in the group.
Like,
Remember the soldier guy? He was like, he's saying his friends are always asking him, "Yo, where? Yo, send us some girls." And the guy's like, "Yo, the reason why you're single is because you have ambition. Tell the girl that you're broke and you want to borrow money from her." She will love that because she knows that now you're dependent on her. Tell her that you're going to slap her across the face. She will be wet. Tell her that you live with your mother and you can't find a job.
Also, what they're trying
It's a proven fact.
Basically,
Hold on, let me finish. It's a proven fact that a lot of time, not all women, but a good amount of women who actually complain that there are no good men or they can't find a good man. It's a proven fact that they don't want one.
like me.
Oftentimes, it was going to require them to firstly become a good woman. It's like, again, you're asking for a BMW, but all you have is Toyota money.
I have something I want to add to that. And it's pertaining to the physical part, right? So,
Yeah.
I don't want to put this as if say, oh, all good men are like this. Here's the thing. If you have a youth, that's just burn out. Never really, go out and we are never grow up. He has a father in his life. But this father, he doesn't take his father's teaching as the father would want him. So no, he's lacking a bit. He's lacking in terms of life, sex, all of that stuff. If that man go have a girlfriend, man flap himself in about 5 minutes.
Salt, you know.
Get born till in week. But here's the thing. Where do people get off in that? Oh, I became a beast in bed in one day.
I became a what?
Where do people get off and saying, oh, I became a master at sex in one day?
Impossible.
Last time I checked, everybody on this planet at one point in time was a virgin and never knew what they were doing. But you're going to look at me and tell me, say, oh, I don't want him because he can't have sex with
Hey, no matter how many of those sexual education books they read, that has nothing to do when you actually go to the practical aspect of it.
Just like when you're studying for a test, unless you actually do it, you're not going to know what the freak you expect. That is why I always say, failure isn't as bad as some people like to make it out to be. I like how some females like to make it out to be, oh, if I come quick in 5 minutes, oh, it's the worst thing ever. It's really?
But at the end
It's
of
my
the
fault that your pum pum feels like gold.
No, I'm not
No, but this is it, you know, but what I don't understand. What we don't understand, you know, the human anatomy, you know, states that when the body is under stimulation or is stimulated,
strenuous pressure,
it will react the way it should.
I want to add to that as well.
But why is it that it is so fixated that because you only work your stimulation level got so high so fast and the body acted the way it did in such a period, it is wrong.
I've said this once and I will say it again. The men out there who they have sex and I hold back on a comfy place, no man. Stop do it. You know, fuck up on yourself.
Well, I mean, in my experience,
Girl,
if her vagina feels like the warm embrace of an angel, and you're going bareback for longer than 20 minutes, maybe her vagina isn't all that good. And this is not my words. This is words of a gynecologist.
no, no, but look at
No,
it.
it's
No,
not
look,
proof.
no,
Alright,
look at it.
no, look funny
No,
like
look
this.
at it.
Terry.
No. You have a woman. Look, no,
Yeah.
look at it. You have a woman, you know.
Yeah,
I imagine she is so good.
yeah.
When you push, she boss. When you go again, you boss. What is there to complain about? If you're not first, you're last.
Yo, I like that one. That one is good. Yeah, that one is good.
And guess what? No? Nobody likes to be late for the party.
I like that one.
So guess what? No, and the funniest thing about it, you know, I even saw somebody work the science and the maths of it, work it down to the mathematical level, you know. All right. Let me give you the maths. Imagine. All right. Just put up your left hand. Just put up on the left hand. Put up your left hand. Now, in the middle, in your palm.
Mm.
All right, put up your next hand now. Form a fist with your next hand. Now, I want you to punch the middle of your hand for 2 minutes. Just punch it for 2 continuous minutes.
We get what you're trying to say now.
No, look at it. You are working with some. You're working with. We're not even gonna say 8 because that's a woman can be stimulated with 4. So you're getting 4 in. A woman is getting 4 inches of slow, medium, and fast. And let's say we're going fast. We're going like a rabbit.
2 minutes. Stop.
And you're getting 5 stab per second for, I remember, you know, 5 per second for a minute, for 1 minute.
Yeah.
5 sixes are how much now? 30?
300.
300. So in a space of 1 minute, I get 300. She get 300 stab. And Bahasi was able to maintain that momentum for 10 minutes. And you mean to tell me, say, after 10 minutes, you still want to go? Something wrong with you. She not good. She want to help.
You must say she not good.
No, look at it.
All right,
300
again,
times 10. That's 30,000, you know.